Welcome back. I'm the African Zealot. Today's episode is firstly, before I start, disclaimer, technically going through a financial situation, slightly too proud to beg, so I'm not accepting donations per se, but I am selling art. So if you have interest in art, I have my Instagram page is at quest_like. So I'll post it somewhere. Remember to do that. Will probably be a link in the comment section down below. Yeah. So lately, I've been mostly trying to go after, the billionaire class, Elon Musk, his name, Bill Gates, those folks, them folks. Hopefully it doesn't get flagged. I'm a relatively small channel, so I don't really see being any further banned than being a small channel already. So you'll see that stuff. Now I sell them as prints. This is one of my other prints behind me. It's Angel Muse. I'm not sure you see all the details. So a ring around her. She's a very nice dark black waist bead, gold waist bead rings. The tree of life is a womb. You see the pyramids below the womb, going down to the legs, and anklets at the bottom. So most of my work is all digital right now. Getting back into it, trying to put my fullest efforts to make sure everything runs smoothly. Like, I don't really intend to strictly stick to politics, or social issue type art, but I do know it's necessary, and that's why my recent work has been kind of geared that way. So if you find something you like, just message me on there. Mugs are 25. A poster like this size, 18 by 24, 75. If you want it signed, it's a little bit more. So there's also t-shirts I can do, like I said, mugs, t-shirts, other kind of paraphernalia, even hats, I think that's about it. So you have any interest, just message me on Instagram, say whatever product you want, whatever piece of work, if you want it as a mug, you want it as a hat, t-shirt, you want a poster, and feel free, definitely feel free to share it. If you know anybody that appreciates work in that direction. That's about it. Also, I had a second topic that I wanted to talk about, which is, what would a Pan-African do with $1 million as reparations, right? So everyone says it's a very unlikely thing to happen. It very well may be. However, I think one of the biggest things is we aren't really organized, besides not being organized, like leading into reparations. Like we had a conversation in my family about if we got it. I brought it up some years ago, And some family was like, I'm just gonna buy a nice car. I'm gonna get a new Bugatti. I'm gonna get a Ferrari, and I might buy a house. But a lot of folks are like, yeah, just gonna buy some frivolous things, and it wasn't necessarily like a conversation like where most folks are thinking, yeah, I'd build something, like a company, like I'd start a bank. I'd come together with 100 people, maybe like 5 friends, and each friend finds another 5 friends, and those 5 friends have to find another 5 friends, and so on, till you get a certain amount of people to put together a certain amount of money, and then we're gonna set up a bank, all right? Or we're gonna set up, an airline, or this, something that's like building, an actual organization to do something, a company that does something that's very vital to society, like a grocery store chain. I've seen, like in Atlanta, in Metro Atlanta, we have a lot of Latinos and Asians, and especially like around Gwinnett County, if you live in the Atlanta area, like they have all kind of stores. Talpa is one, is Hispanic, Latino. Supermercado, also Hispanic, Latino. Like these are chains, like they're like a Publix, Kroger type vibe, but international. They sell even African foods, ingredients, different kind of halal type stuff. There's another one, Namdaemun is the Asian one that they have, and there are a good few of those around Gwinnett area, and we should definitely have one of those for ourselves. Within Atlanta, like it's supposed to be the Black Mecca. I don't see why we don't have one already, and that's definitely a necessity. Like you got to eat, so you want to import food from other Black African nations, the Caribbean. Get those foods to the markets in America so we can keep that economy going. Boost the economy in agricultural sector in the in the Caribbean, in Africa, in countries, and also have employment for our people, and from a necessity, right? So it's not even like it's something frivolous, like I don't know what kind of business, but like it's not a frivolous type business. It's a real necessity, and you got to eat, right? So, but like there's a sense to build, right? But as a Pan-African, that's one thing. That's one thing I do. Like is a grocery store chain. Secondly, those who want to build on the continent of Africa, and also specifically, I think the Caribbean is an offshoot of the continent. I just see it as like, just another region of the continent. Like it's the sixth region. We're in the diaspora, we're the sixth region. So the physical sixth region would be the Caribbean, because it's the only real land we have out here that is majority of us, and it's our governments. Like it's us within the government running pretty much all the government. Even if we have foreign hands of over top puppet strings, right? But in Africa and the Caribbean, I would say that we should very much focus, if we have this $1 million, right, or whatever amount of money, all right, to put a good bit of that, like first and foremost, in the sectors of agriculture, right? So to grow all the food we need and build silos to house different grains, so we have extra in case if anything happens. Drought resistant crops like sorghum, millet, and all that, just in case something does happen, right? We have excess to make sure we feed our populations, to invest in road infrastructure. The government's technically supposed to do it. But a lot of agitation is necessary to make sure that they're actually investing in that type of stuff, because there's plenty of people that already like that are born in the continent, live in the continent the whole life, have invested in agriculture, but they're unable to get their products to the market because of the regions they live in and the roads. Like if it's a rainy season, it's hard to get through mud to get whatever they produced to the markets, right? And so a lot of food ends up rotting even on the farm before it even gets to the market. And that's the thing. That's a real problem. So to get foods to the markets, to get foods to folks who live out, and instead of having UNICEF come and feed the children, whatever, whether it's in the city or in far out village or somewhere, it should be a decent road to get the food to those populations. A certain amount of it should be either really cheap or free, and help get it out to the people who really need it. Because we do have it like that. We got enough land, and we put all the investments in it to produce properly. Excuse me, produce enough for our populations, and even excess to sell outside the country. I think especially for non-perishable goods or things that take a long time to perish, like dried nuts, flour, oils, and stuff like that. Cosmetics, right? So that's another, any offshoot of agriculture should also be heavily invested in, right? And even factories to build we make black soap, we make different kinds of oils, palm kernel. I was trying to figure out, like, whatever kind of oil, avocado oil, peanut oil, whatever it is, we could build factories to facilitate building that industry, right? Secondly, before I forget, is a lot of people want to get into real estate, right? So we do need housing, but I think it'd be real smart to actually build housing around industries, right? So if a local region has, say it's strategically, they grow peanuts, right, within the region, right? So you grow peanuts, you want to expand the peanut industry, you want to produce more and more peanut, right? But at the same time, you want to make sure that you have the derivatives like peanut butter, peanut oil, and build factories around to employ folks within that region, right? And now that you're employing folks, those people can actually, afford to buy a house within that region, moderately priced, and so on, right? And yeah, so to build around the region, you build different housing within the region, moderately priced, right? And to build the infrastructure of economy around, right? Because you can build a bunch of houses, but if folks don't have the means to buy it, or maybe they do, but I just think it'd be more strategic. You don't want to have to travel miles and miles to get to work, right? So not everybody's gonna be a TikToker or YouTuber making videos and making money online. So we need folks that are on the ground doing physical work to be able to do that physical work, and not have to travel miles to get to the job, or even if they are, it's probably a way to have people shuttled to the farm, right? So farm opens up at whatever time, whoever's working there, they're all living in the same vicinity, right? So within a village, right? Build the community, and they take the shuttle to wherever stops, whether they work at the farm, the peanut oil factory, the peanut butter factory, whatever it is, the cotton farm, the twine factory, the factory that produces cloth, to the one that stitches it together, all that, kind of have it really close together and just build around that industry. That's pretty much how we did it before colonization. We had industries that we were in as communities, and the community was already in that region together, and they didn't travel far unless you were like a merchant. Like the merchant would buy it from the communities to sell across different regions, right? So it doesn't make sense to have cotton produced in one place and then travel halfway across the continent to, put it together. It should be different, hubs of whatever you're producing. You produce derivative goods around it, and so on and so on. And I'm making this video a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, and I think I'm gonna cut it off right about here. So y'all take it easy.